really made.
Welcome back to Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee. We got James Worthy, Robert Ory. We got Brez over here. We got Trudell down the hall. We got Allie working remotely. They'll be doing the interviews. You'll get your post-game sound. The Lakers win again. Big fourth quarter, James and Rob. 43 points from this Laker team. 58 points from the bench. James, this might sound crazy. I'm enjoying the preseason. I've never said that to you in our 9 years together. But it's been fun. Guys are playing hard, and they seem to be enjoying it as well.
Yes, Geeta, we are enjoying this preseason, coming off a championship, unlike the last 9 before that. But it is nice to see the start of something. You know, the Lakers were away from the finals, finally won a championship last year, and you can see the additions that they made. They're already kind of preparing for another season to win. So what I saw tonight was LeBron and AD coming in, trying to adhere to what some of the guys were already doing, played hard, played team ball, and then the bench came in, and that shows me that this bench could be, once again, one of the best benches in the NBA. So I was happy to see that.
I was very happy to see that, too. You know, sometimes when you get that start, you can get rolling quickly. So I was like, okay, I'm very interested to see how THT comes off the bench with that energy and that effort. Yeah. He acted like he started.
And especially because when he first came in, a couple of turnovers. Yeah. But he settled in real nice. He was great in the second half.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. That's the sign of a vet. He didn't get flustered. He just said, you know what? We made a little mistakes. You know, let's get in the flow of the game. Next thing you know, he got 18 points.
You know who's been really good? This guy right here. Let's hear from Kuz. He's standing by with Mike Trudell.
All right, Kuz, first of all, man, I have to ask you about Jared Dudley's threes. That seems to be the thing that gets the bench the most excited.
Yeah, anytime we can get Duz on the court and he gets a couple buckets or his patent three celebrations, we all love it. And we love Duz.
You know, Bill and Stu were just talking, Kuz, on the broadcast about the chemistry with this team that's carried over from last season. What have you made of that? How do you guys all get along, and how do the new additions impact that?
You know, we're just brothers. Obviously, you know, we had the bubble to get really, really close, but even before the hiatus, we were, you know, practically hanging out with everybody in every city and doing everything like that. So with the new guys coming in, it's not like a fall in line thing, but like we invite it.
All right, you're averaging about 25 these last 2 games. You start tonight, you've hit 4 threes in each of these last 2. How are you feeling rhythm-wise, and how was that built for you after the shortened offseason since you guys, of course, won the title in October?
I just worked hard during the short off season, and it's you know, I'm just a little ahead of the curve.
So what do you expect from yourself for this season, Kuz? Some minutes perhaps available at the 2-3 almost with Danny going out. We saw you in that role tonight. How are you feeling about where that might best optimize the way that you can play?
I'm not really sure. You know, it's just so much going on. We got a lot of great players, great team. So we'll see what Frank does.
All right, Kuz, I appreciate the time, huh?
Yep, no problem.
All right, Brez is here. Before we get into AD and LeBron, which was the big story, this is their first preseason action, the first time they've been on the court since the Lakers won the title back on October 11th. I want to talk Kyle Kuzma. Kuz, we've talked about it many times on this show, a lot of expectations, him being the one leftover, the guy that remained when the young core was traded, excuse me, for Anthony Davis. Found his role last year, kind of coming in and out of it, learning how to impact the team when you don't get 18 to 20 shots a game. But he worked hard. this offseason, James, and it shows. You heard the numbers. He's averaging 22 in the preseason. He's 10 of 21 from 3 in the preseason. But, James, more than that, his decision-making has been outstanding.
Yeah, after you go through what Kuz has gone through, came in very promising, very talented, then he, had a couple of injuries he had to overcome, came back into the flow when AD, and still a little frustrated, didn't feel like he was getting the minutes or the shots. But then he became quiet and methodical and started to just understand that this is a short, not a short game, but it's a long haul. It's a long career. And right now, his understanding of where he is and what he has to do is perfect. He's productive. He's playing his role, whatever needs to be done, whatever is asked of him. And that's what good role players do. And I think he's living up to it.
It's a lot of times when you step into a season with great expectations. Last season, think about it. We put a lot of pressure on Kuz. They was like, the third score, Kuz. This is going to be the man, Kuz. Think about that. That's a lot of pressure. And then you trying to step up to the plate and be all these things people want you to be and not understanding who you playing with, AD and LeBron. You have to get in where you fit in, sort of say. And I think it was hard for him to adjust. And I think little by little, he's adjusting. I know it's a preseason. We haven't seen him in there with a lot of minutes with AD and LeBron. I just think it's a maturation process for him where he's learning the game and understanding who he is and what he needs to do to make himself successful as he makes the team successful.
I like that word maturation because that's exactly what it is, Brez. And there is pressure on Kuz, probably put on by himself as well, right? Guys his age who've been in the league that many years sometimes get extensions, Brez. Sure. You've already seen friends of his get paid big-time money. He's the only one with a ring. So when you get a ring, there are sacrifices that come with that, right? And he's been able to kind of stay patient, and I like the way he's carrying himself.
Funny you say contract, because there's a deadline looming. It'll be next Monday, the day before the regular season starts. That's a deadline for the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma to come to an agreement on an extension. Remember, he's entering the 4th and final year of his rookie deal. And the good news for both sides, even if they don't reach an agreement, he'll be a restricted free agent next year in August. So Lakers can retain him by matching any offer from a team. But what good timing for Kyle Kuzma. I mean, going into this potential deadline day, he's passing like I've never seen him before. He's really looking for teammates, shooting great behind the arc. Like you said, Geet, just a shade below 50% so far in 3 preseason games. Remember, guys, last year at this time, he was injured. Remember, he got hurt while playing for the Team USA during the World Cup action. He had that foot ankle thing. He was not a healthy guy coming into preseason last year. Looks pretty healthy to me right now.
Yeah, and people are always wondering of these last couple, who's going to be the third best player? Kuz doesn't need to be that guy. There are plenty of guys. Just let him be Kyle Kuzma. Let him be playing a role on this team. All right, AD, LeBron, big game. I'll go to you first. We got to see them. 15 minutes for LeBron, 18 for Anthony Davis. They combined for 21 points. LeBron got going his second stint when he went back in. AD right away. But it was just good to see them playing basketball once again in a Laker uniform together.
Yeah, letting the other teammates, especially the new arrivals, know what they've come here to play for and play with. I thought AD was very active, running down loose balls, blocking shots. It was as if he was in the playoffs already. So he's setting the tone that, hey, this is who we are. Yeah, I'm a big dog in L.A. now, and I'm a leader as well. And LeBron, he just does what he does.
18 preseason for LeBron.
He just does what he does.
18. That's a lot of preseason.
A lot of preseasons.
A lot of games that don't matter. The thing about those two guys is you expect a little rush, but they are such professionals. They take care of themselves. They take care of their bodies, and they do what the necessary steps to stay ready. And even though in that first quarter, it was a little feeling it out, but if you look at them in the second quarter, it's like, okay, this is who we are. This is why we're the champions, and we're the #1 seed going into this season.
Yeah, Big Game had mentioned the block shots as well, like AD blocking CP3. Now they're out running. Gasol throwing the outlet pass. You just saw them kind of clicking already. LeBron turning it on for a few minutes. Yeah. They got that separation. Then they said, all right, we're out.
Yeah, LeBron, the first quarter, almost like around the world for him. Just shooting outside a little bit, getting his legs reacquainted to the hardwood. Second quarter, he had that turnaround baseline jumper. That was good. Stuck a 3, and you're like, okay. That's LeBron right there. No rush to really get into it. I don't even know if they're going to play on Friday, guys. I mean, does it really matter? I mean, LeBron has logged, 59,000 minutes in his career. Do 15 matter on Friday? Yes or no? He'll for sure be ready next Tuesday, won't he?
Yeah, one thing we know is Frank and Rob and LeBron, they'll all have that conversation, and if they want to get a little sweat, they'll come out and do it. So we'll see, and we'll let you know as soon as we do. Let's get you to the highlight. Lakers' first road game outside 107. Kuz continuing his hot start to the preseason, 23 points, 8 of 15 on 4 of 8 from 3. LeBron James, 15 minutes, 11 points. AD, 18 minutes, 10 points. Lakers shoot 48%. They put up 43 in the fourth, and they end up getting the win. They're 3-0. Let's head back to Phoenix. Frank Vogel speaking with the media via the Zoom.
Zoom.
Not really. I mean, we got to watch the tape and just continue to study it. I like a lot of different ways we can go. I'm going to feel good about, but certainly the lineup with Mark out there gives a lot of space for guys to attack the basket. Whether it's Bron or whether it's AD or small cutters, KCP, Kuz, Alex, Dennis, guys like that. There's a lot of different ways we can go, but nothing that really solidified for me tonight. I mean, it's just going to take time.
Kyle.
Hey Frank, what's the status of Dennis last you've heard, and with Dennis and Alex, have they seen their last preseason action, or may one or both of them play for you on Friday?
Too soon to tell. Dennis has a mild ankle sprain. We'll see how he feels tomorrow and Friday. And, as of right now, those guys are possibilities to play Friday.
Mike Trudell.
Hey, Frank, just wondering what you made of after those first couple minutes. Phoenix goes in the run, the second unit gets back in the game, and then your first unit, or at least LeBron and AD, check back in. What did you notice that you think it could be meaningful moving forward, even though it was a short stint there to end the first half?
Yeah, well, we played about 18 minutes straight of great defense, and guys were flying around. I felt like I saw a glimpse of the IQ of that group defensively, really talking out coverages and, really rotating and being all over the place. So that was a strong stretch for our team for sure tonight.
Yeah, it's a different defense, right, from last year, even though you have a lot of the same players. You've only had so few minutes to evaluate it, but what does Mark bring to that group with the talking and sort of he and LeBron able to converse on that high level, and AD as well intellectually?
Yeah, it's just like you said, there's a high IQ with that group. We have a similar scheme to what we did last year. We just got to tighten some of the habits up and, teach the new guys kind of the way we do things. Obviously, there's a high pedigree on the defensive end with all the new guys we brought in. And, but every team's different. Every scheme is slightly different. They're learning those nuances and, it's looked good, looked really good in stretches.
Frank, how would you evaluate the bench celebrations when Dudley hits a three?
I was only looking at Dudley's celebration. So I would evaluate his celebration as, I don't know, what metric are we using here? It was a 10 out of 10. It was a great celebration. Scoops to court with that low three fingers out. I don't know what you call it, but he's the best on our team for sure at celebrating a three ball.
Bill Orm.
Hey, Frank, did LeBron give you any feedback on how he came out of that game and how those first minutes felt for him? And did you see what you wanted to see kind of on the progression with ramping him back up to speed?
Yeah, he anticipated feeling a little bit rusty in the first stretch, and I thought that played out. And once he got his first win beneath him, I think he settled in and looked great again. So I think it was as he anticipated, as I anticipated, and it's just gonna be a matter of getting his legs back under him again.
Brad Turner.
Hi, Frank. I think I asked you before the game about Kyle Kuzma, and he had another strong game. What are you seeing from him this entire preseason and training camp?
Yeah, the thing that sticks out is how hard he works. And when you see a guy work that hard, you're not surprised when they have success on the court. And, he's playing at a high level. He's playing with confidence. He's really not forcing any action. He's getting his shots within the rhythm of the offense. And, you have to honor him. And you got to know where he's at. You got to close out hard to him. And he's got the ability to make plays with the passing off the bounce when you push up too much. So, I'm happy to see him continuing to grow.
Big prize for that. And then our guy in Cleveland, LeBron's teammate, I can't think of his name right now.
Thank you.
He makes the outlet pass. Mark.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. Thank you, Brett.
Taylor. Good job, Brett. Brett's a good golfer.
And it's an amazing pass because if you can do it, it outruns the defense. So, awesome.
Wes Unseld was a bad man.
Yes, he was.
Access 360. Rob, you going to fake out James like you did earlier?
No.
Tend to go to the wall.
You can only do that once.
Okay.
You can only do that once.
What are you breaking out? A little LBJ AD?
Look, hey, a little vets, a little veteranism right here in this one.
Do you need water?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry, people at home. Here you got LeBron with a high pick and roll from Gasol. Right here, he's trying to navigate what he wants to do. Right here, this is a big bite. That is a wall he has to get through. So now LeBron's anticipating, what are you going to do? I got you on my back. I'm going to go the whole spin, do a little drop step, fade back, over the top, because you're not big and mobile enough to stick with me. He got a little penetration. Kuz getting it back up top of LeBron. LeBron seeing 80 there. You know what this thing? He should have ball fake, pump fake, but no. He was lucky he got the ball back. Then he used his skill set to penetrate. They draw the defense. 1, 2, 3 defenders round. Dump it off to AD. AD gets the second easiest bucket of the night for him. Right here, another situation where, you know what? I'm going to post a little fella. I'm going to welcome you to the big show right here. And look, you got the guys, defense is going to collapse. You don't want to collapse. I'm going to do my patented fadeaway over the right shoulder here.
Call that mouse in the house?
Mouse in the house of barbecue chicken. Right here, you see LeBron. He knows that he has a hockey assist right here. He tries to get it into AD. AD gets it. Kuz breaks, takes defense with him. You know what? You're too little. You're too little. You might have played good defense in the playoffs. Not.
It's a good cut by Kuz.
Yeah, it's a great Kuz bite.
Take the defender with you.
Yeah, but you know, that's just,
One-on-one.
Those guys are warming up, and these are great expectations to happen coming soon.
Yeah, I just like, again, I like the spacing, and guys are disciplined. They're not closing in. That's why they're able to drive, kick out the Kuz, kick out the Matthews. Marc Gasol hit a 3, and then when they penetrate, they get the layups too. So discipline. They're showing some good discipline early.
Back to Phoenix. Kyle Kuzma speaking with the media. I just enjoy some of those moments sometimes.
Hey, Kuz, you had the 3-ball working tonight, and particularly in transition. It seems like that's a shot that you were almost hunting or certainly feeling comfortable in. Talk us through the brief 7-week off season, and if the 3-point shot is something that you paid particular attention to in improving your game.
Yeah, I just got up a lot of threes during the short off season. Just trying to figure out my role. And one thing that I could add, that Frank said in my exit meeting was being able to shoot off the move. And, for me, I'm just trying to hunt shots. Anytime I got an open look, I'm shooting confidently.
Bill Orm.
Hey, Kyle. Similarly, this was an untraditional offseason, but then, go back another summer and you played with Team USA and got injured. You just haven't had a traditional full offseason in several years. What has been the challenge of trying to build your game, kind of naturally, organically as your career has progressed when you just haven't had full traditional off seasons, and how have you tried to manipulate that?
I don't think it's necessarily that. It's just me, obviously I have the real part, but I just think, in my career, my role has changed like kind of every year. So for me, I've had to adapt my game and figure out ways to affect the game in different ways, much more than other guys on that trajectory. So for me, just watching film and realizing what added parts we have and trying to just shape myself into it to become a winner. And, that's how I really approach off seasons every season.
Calhoun.
Hey, Kyle. So we've seen you talking to a lot of the new guys, after plays or during dead balls. Is that you kind of trying to blend them into how this team plays? And what has that been like being a guy who can, sort of be an explainer and be a teacher for some of the guys who have joined this team?
I just learned a lot during the playoffs about myself and just about the game of basketball. So, just coming in, being confident in what I'm doing. And also, you can't really say things to people if you're not, doing what you're supposed to do. So I'm kind of just, just leading. Coach always says every one of us are leaders. I see something, I just try to point it out. And when someone sees something I'm doing wrong, they point it out, and we hold everyone accountable. That's our championship culture.
Last question, Dan Whitey.
Hey, Kuz, you guys have been at this for a couple weeks now. Do you have a sense for what your role could be on this team? Obviously, you've started all three of these games. Do you know yet, or is this going to be another year of adapting?
I have no idea. We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Kyle, for your time.
Yep.
More to come on Access. Anthony Davis made his preseason debut with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and a block. We'll hear from the NBA champion when we return.
That blocker.
AD played, by the way, had 10 points in 17 first half minutes. If you look at AD, he's speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Anthony, first of all, is there anything that gets the bench more excited than a Jared Dudley 3?
No. It does, man. He does so much for our team, and we're so happy to have him here. He obviously don't get much playing time during the regular season, but when he get in, we always mess with him, and he plays the game the right way. And so when you have a guy who plays the right way and make shots, it's so much fun. And he got all the celebrations, and we love to see him go out there and make threes for us.
Okay, yeah, we could tell. AD, just physically, how did you feel? We all know the length or lack thereof of the offseason for you guys. How did it feel in your first game?
I felt great, honestly. Coming in, I thought I was going to be a little winded. You can try to get in shape all you want, but it's nothing like basketball shape, in game shape. So I was kind of hesitant about that, but I felt fine. I could have played more. Probably going to play more Friday, but I felt, physically fine.
Some new personnel for you guys in that first half when you went on the defensive run, basically after they went up 20-7. What did you see from Mark, from Dennis, and kind of how the defense is still effective but a little different from last year?
Yeah, like I said, we added some great pieces. Mark, former DPOY. Got Dennis, who's a pest on the ball, picking up 94 feet. Wes, who's a bulldog. So we just try to figure things out defensively still. We're still learning each other. The new guys still learning the rotations and things like that. But we picked it up. Our bench actually came in at the end of the first and picked it up for us, and we just kind of carried it over in that second quarter. But guys are starting to figure each other out, on both ends of the floor. And Coach doesn't take it lightly when we mess up on defense, and we take pride in ourselves defensively, as you guys seen last year. Nothing changed about this year, and we're going to continue to figure it out and only continue to get better.
Dave?
AD, how do you view Kyle Kuzma as a fourth-year player, 25 years old, in this game, fitting in or contributing to your guys' overall success this year?
Yeah, he's figuring it out. I mean, when Bron came 2 years ago, obviously Bron get all the attention, and Kuz tried to, figure out how to work with that. And then, me coming last year, He tried to figure that out, and I think he's doing a great job of finding his role on this team. We want him to come in and be aggressive. He's making the right plays. He's reading the defenses a lot better, even from last year. There's some plays in this game where he made a great pass. So he's continued to learn the game, continue to figure out his role with our team, and he developed his shot tremendously from last year to this year. Just in that summertime grinding. So he's been playing well this preseason, and he's only going to continue to get better. So, it's going to be a big year for him. He's going to play a bigger role for us this year, and we need to continue to do, what Kuz do.
All right, we'll take 3 more questions. Kyle?
Hey, D. With this road trip, obviously it's different from other trips you've done. What kind of stands out as what's different from a normal road trip so far, and what can the team do to kind of build back the chemistry that you guys valued so much last year?
Obviously that anytime we're on the road, we're playing a Western Conference team. I think we're there for a minimum of 3 nights. So that's a little different playing the team back to back. As we did with the Clippers at home, and then here in Phoenix we play them again Friday. So that's going to be a little different, kind of geared up for like that little playoff. Trey, you want to come show the world what you got on today? That's crazy. Don't worry, it's going to be on Instagram. But I think that's the only weird part about it. Instead of playing the team, in the city and then leaving and going to play another team, maybe circling back later on during the season and playing them again. So it's a little different, obviously because of COVID, but we're still trying to keep our chemistry the way it's been. We're not trying to change anything. Guys are still, hanging out with each other, playing cards, going to the NBA approved restaurants and things like that, while still, following the safety protocols. So, as you see, you follow me, Trev, Dennis, QC on Instagram. That is already there. That chemistry is already there, messing with each other, and it's all pure and natural. So we all kind of clicked from day one, to be honest.
Dan?
Hey, D, if you get excited for a Jared Dudley 3, wait till you see a Jared Dudley dunk.
Right. I don't think Doug has dunked in his career. I haven't seen
it. Frank said that he wants his team to kind of keep that sort of play harder than everybody else mentality. It's 3 preseason games, but you guys have come back, and I think 2 of them. Have you seen seeds of that still there? That's not typical for teams trying to repeat.
Yeah, you're gonna have a target on your back when you're champions, and we got to continue to play harder than other teams. You can't control, misses and makes and things like that, but you can control playing harder than the other team. And if we continue to fight and be the hardest playing team, then we give ourselves a chance every night. And that's all coach asks for. That's all we ask for from ourselves, is to go out there, play hard and make sure that when we leave the floor, win or lose, that we were the more physical team. We're the team that play hard.
Last question, Bill.
Hey, D, I just want to go back to what you were saying about Kuz a little bit, because you talked about the work he put in the offseason, and there just really wasn't hardly much of an offseason. I think the expectation was that most guys were going to just try to get to, catch their breath a little bit. Do you feel like he used the time differently than some people, or to your knowledge, what was he doing during that time and relative to what you could do in that time?
I'm not 100% sure what he was doing that time, but you can tell the difference. Either he was putting in work and came to camp ready and better than he was last year, or he held back on us last year and just kind of, opened his game up, more this year. So I'm not 100% sure, but the way he's playing right now, the game is slowing down for you. And when you get in that 4th year, the game kind of slows down. You read defenses better. You know your shot selection. You know where you're getting your shots. And he understands that now. And, he's playing a lot better. He's better on the defensive end. He guarded Kawhi the other game. He guarded Booker tonight, started on Booker. So, he's getting that defensive, defensive reps as well. So he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna be a big piece for us this year, and he's only gonna get better. This is his 4th year. He's playing extremely well. The guys like him. He's finding his role, finding his niche with this team, And if we continue to play the right way, then they have a great offseason for sure next summer.
Thank you, AD.
Montrezl Harrell led the new guys with 11 points tonight versus the Suns. We'll hear from another new guy, Dennis Schroeder, coming up next. Pre-game and a post-game right here on Spectrum Sportsnet starting at 6. Christmas Day, the Mavericks come to Staples Center. That game will be on ABC. Then the next 3 games, Brez, those will all be on Spectrum Sportsnet. T-Woods, Blazers, Spurs. Dennis Schroeder finished with 7 points and 3 assists. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Dennis, just wanted to start by asking you about the ankle. We saw that you went out in the third quarter and see how it's feeling at this moment.
So it's pretty good. I got treatment on it already. I still enjoying the game. So I think it's nothing to worry about. See how it's, feeling tomorrow in the morning. But I think it's pretty all right.
Got it. Frank said he was eager to see how it looked with you playing alongside LeBron and AD. Just wondered what your first impressions were, Dennis, of how that went.
I mean, it's a preseason game still. We try to find our way. We played in practice a little bit, not too much, but, we just try to figure stuff out, how we playing on the offensive end and the defensive end. But like I said, it's try to get a feel for each other, on the offensive end, what they like to do when I'm, going to the basket, if they want to cut or not. It's just, feel and pick and roll, me and AD. But like I said, we're going to get better at it.
This team really emphasized defense last year. I know that's pretty common for most NBA teams, but it clearly worked as they got their way to the title. Any just first impressions of how that works for you, what your focus is on the defensive side of the floor when you play with that starting group?
Well, just being active. I think try to bring the ball, run them off the three-point line and bring them inside. Just what we really focusing on. Of course, we got, LeBron and AD down there. Who, creating really tough shots. Basically, just try to be aggressive. Don't try to give them open looks. And, everything I've been doing, basically, try to, pick up full court sometimes and just try to get the energy going.
I want to talk new guys. I feel like we've talked individually about them a lot since the new year has started. Schroeder, Harrell, Gasol, and Matthews. But let's take it a different way. Rob, I'll start with you. We can go around. Fitting in on a championship team with 2 superstars, one named LeBron James, the other Anthony Davis, obviously, coming to Los Angeles, putting on that Laker uniform. What are some of the challenges that these guys will face being in that situation?
I had to be in that situation when I first got to San Antonio. And you kind of just sit back and observe. You have to see how they work, how they do things, and you have to have that conversation with them and tell them what you like to do, and you have to understand what they like to do and try to mesh together. And it's hard. People don't understand because you feel like this is a championship team. They have the recipe for a championship. How can you add to this recipe to make it better? And for guys who don't have egos, they sit back and they watch and they fit in where they get in. And a lot of times guys say, you know what, I can do what I want to do to make the team better by being me. But you can't do that. Because this is a championship caliber team, you have to understand where you fit in. You have to observe, watch, and talk. That's the biggest thing. Communicate and understand, and ask guys, what do you want me to do to help you, to help me?
I'm wondering, James, if Dennis Schroeder is the one that has to maybe make the biggest adjustment. Montrezl Harrell just does what he does, right? He's a dog. He's going to come off the bench. He's going to get you. He's going to have that high motor the whole time. Gasol, Wes Matthews, been around a long time, want to fit in the role, get a win, right? Win a title. Dennis Schroeder is coming off a great year, 19 a game. Now he's got to learn how to play alongside LeBron and AD. Yeah, he's excited about, but you know what I mean? He's got to adjust.
Exactly. And he's evolved over time from when he was in Atlanta, not matured yet. And then over time, he got better. And now he's at a place now where he really feels like he can contribute. 19 points, as you said. He feels like he can play with just about any guard. His challenge is going to be pull the reins back just a little bit because you're in a special situation now. You're at a special position. So don't try to come in and think you have to score a lot of points and you have to show off your talents. Just, like Kuz, let it come to you.
It really is that Rondo role. right? Like, he should watch tape of how Ron was still able to assert himself last year and have the ball when LeBron was there, or playoff ball, but he's also Rondo. Could do it a long time.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the thing I like about Schroeder and also Trez, they're going to get their own shots, okay? Last season, if LeBron and AD sat out a game, you still had Kuz, but beyond that, Danny Green's not going to create. JaVale and Dwight, those guys are kind of, put back, offensive rebound type of guys if they're going to be scoring. Now you've got Montrez and Schroeder. Last season, they averaged almost 40 points between the two of them. So now you have guys, okay, LeBron, AD, you just got done playing ball a couple months ago. Take the game off. We're going to be able to pick up the offense, not quite as good, obviously, without those two, but better than a year ago.
Really, mate.